Congratulations and felicitations.
Okay, here comes the first round.
Boom. And
Jeez, that was just
boom.
unnecessary. You kidding me? You can't be out of range? What? Greetings and felicitations, YouTube. You're all of the Appian Way here. I wanted to show you guys this quest. This is actually a quest in Mass Effect that has eluded me for 14 years. I don't think I've ever played this quest before. And it might just be the most important quest in the entire game. I'm going to show it to you, commentary free here. And then I'm gonna talk about this quest because it's on a matter that I am very passionate about. You're welcome to stay through and watch the whole video if you want to listen to my TED Talk on the matter, but once the quest is done, you'll hear me speak up again. If you don't need to hear it, you're welcome to leave the video at that point. Otherwise, I hope you'll stick around and enjoy the entire video.
Hey, you're that Shepard kid. Hey, been a long time, huh?
I'm sorry, do we know each other?
I guess you don't remember me. Lieutenant Zabaleta? I worked with your mother. We served on the carrier Einstein. Well, that was 12, 13 years back, though. You were just a kid then.
I guess you're not in the service anymore, huh?
Yeah, retired, yeah. You know how it is. Times are tough for vets. They always are.
I didn't see her much that tour. The ship was on patrol most of the time.
Hey, call your mom up and ask. She'd remember old Zabaleta. She'd vouch for me. Look, I need a favor. I'm kind of short on money these days. I hate hitting you up for money, but a man's gotta eat, right? So, could you spare something? Maybe 20 credits.
20 isn't enough to get you back on your feet, is it?
No. I'll just get a meal, you know.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
You're a good kid, you know that? Thanks. You ever want to come by and talk, I'll be here. Huh? Can't afford a ticket home, right?
Computer, give me a real-time connection to the Dreadnought Kilimanjaro. I want to speak to my mother, Exo Shepard.
Shepard speak? Oh, hi. I don't have time for a personal call right now. I'm on duty.
Forget it, I'm busy too. Do you remember a Lieutenant Zabaleta from the Einstein?
Ernesto? Have you heard from him? He was one of the Marines who guarded the CIC. We shared a watch. I lost track of him after there was an incident.
I've seen him here on the Citadel. Looks like he's had some hard times.
I don't doubt it. You remember the Batarian raid on Mindwar in 2170? You were in high school. The Einstein's task group responded to the Mayday. The Batarians were still pulling out when the Marines hit groundside. Zabaleta was one of the first down. He was never quite the same after.
I don't understand. What happened down there?
About every abomination that a sentient being can do to another. To a slaver, a person is just another animal. And humans aren't always liked out here. We heard about corralling, culling. They'd shoot those they couldn't use, implant control devices in the skulls of those they could, without anesthetic.
Was that when he left the service?
He tried to keep working, but it rode him. He showed up drunk on duty more and more. We couldn't always cover for him. The Alliance discharged him. Everyone knew he drank because of what he'd seen down there, even if he never talked about it. Especially because he never talked about it.
That explains everything. Thanks.
If you see him, tell him we still worry about him. Tell him to go to the Veterans Affairs office. I have to go, but take care of yourself. You're making us proud. Kilimanjaro out.
Hey, back again, huh? I don't suppose you got any credits to spare.
I heard you were at Mindwar. I wanted to talk about what you saw.
Why? You think you got something profound to say about it? People tied like prize hogs, locked in cages, clawing and screaming as they're loaded into cargo pods. And we couldn't reach them. The Batarian defenses had us pinned. Dozens died trying to advance, All we could do was watch as they hauled people away. I've been looking for 13 years for something to make that sight go away. What have you got, huh?
I can't help you if you don't want to be helped. Do you really want to get over what you saw?
What? You think I drink because I like lying in the gutter? If you don't have a better option, just give me 20 credits. A good bottle of whiskey. Enough to stop the dreams.
You want to play the martyr, whine to the other bums. You want to get better, try the Veterans Office. We've got 7 million vets. Someone else has been through this.
You don't want to help? Fine. I'll go to the damn VAO. Got nothing else to do but talk about my feelings. You got a smart mouth, kid. Funny how your mom never mentioned that. If she wants to talk, tell her she can reach me through the Citadel VAO.
What I just showed you is one of the most important and also one of the most hidden side quests in Mass Effect 1. In order to find it, you have to have the spacer background, and you have to come to the most obscure section on the Citadel after having already left the Citadel once before, but not right before the final mission to Ilos. It is a significant reflection of the way combat veterans and service members with trauma are treated on a regular basis. This plotline strikes me very close to home. Ernesto Zabaleta might as well have been my Uncle David. Uncle David was a firefighter in Arlington County, Virginia. God, I love that man. I had never known a kinder or more loving family man. The county he worked in is home to the Pentagon, the center of intelligence and military affairs in the United States. It was the target of the terrorist attack on 9/11, and though he did not have work that day, he rushed in to do his job. I won't go into details, but what he saw there changed him. It affected him and his family deeply. He became an addict, and the mental trauma left a serious toll on him. He was never the same and never recovered. The trauma and addiction killed him, slowly. It took 16 years. He was not bedridden. I do not mean to say that his death was foreseeable, but it was preventable. My family and I consider him to be a casualty of the 9/11 attacks, even though his death occurred almost 2 decades later. Stories like my Uncle David and the fictional Lieutenant Zabaleta are real and all too common. A study published in March of 2020 of 5,766 veterans nationwide found that those who have experienced homelessness, 7.4% reported an overdose in the previous 3 years. Among veterans reporting overdose, alcohol was the most commonly involved substance. Veteran status increases the odds of becoming homeless 2-fold for men and 3-fold for women. An emerging subfield of this research also identifies contemporary veterans as being at heightened risk. The rate for infantry war veterans to have documented PTSD is between 10 and 20%. It doesn't even account for those that might have trauma that are undocumented. In the article, Veterans' Mental Health in the Wake of War by Dr. Matthew J. Friedman, the author states, "We have learned that the homecoming decisively affects veterans' readjustment to civilian life. Public antagonism or indifference can spawn alienation and distrust to promote the development of PTSD and other psychiatric problems." It is said that you can learn a lot about a people by how they treat their children. I feel you can tell a lot by how a people treats its veterans. Zabaleta's story is all too common, and this renegade solution my character gave him is as well. People who serve and face trauma for it deserve more than just a handout and a not-too-subtle shove into veteran services. Dr. Hogue, who wrote above about the documented PTSD at a 10 to 20% rate, advocates for finding ways to validate these service people's experiences as warriors and saviors and guiding them into a path of recovery and rehabilitation in a manner that they choose to do rather than be forced into. Green zones on college campuses are a good example of this. These are places marked in a manner military veterans would recognize as a safe harbor, but when utilized in a civilian location, it provides a safe space for a veteran to go and cope as they need to, without fear of judgment from others or even judgment for themselves. The green zone spaces are marked with stickers indicating a faculty or staff member has been trained to assist student veterans or act as a resource for their community. A quote from one senior pursuing a degree at UNG said, "Because of the obstacles and struggles that veterans have faced, we are relieved to know there are faculty and staff who understand and sympathize. From the testimonies I have heard, the Green Zone program is instrumental. Many of us would not be where we are without it." My father, who works as a college professor, has had military service and has seen to it to mark his office in a similar manner. Now, granted, this is just a drop in a bucket when compared to the larger problem, and the thing is, I don't have the answers nor the solutions, but I do feel strongly on this matter and want to make as many other people aware as possible. I do not have a history with PTSD or military service nor substance abuse, but it has been around me all my life in the eyes of my family and has impacted us greatly. The most powerful tool a veteran has to recover, in my opinion, is their family. And the family doesn't have to carry that burden alone. If you or anyone you love struggle with these issues, I encourage everyone involved to seek out professional help from a therapist or to take advantage of whatever veterans' resources available to you locally. I want to thank the creators and writers for Mass Effect for putting the story into the game, and as well for showing the hopelessness involved for someone like Zabaleta, that even a character as great and mighty as Commander Shepard can say, "Hey, stick it up, go get help." It's hurtful to see, but it's appropriate to be in this story because of how true that it is. It shows that even in a bright future, these are the same problems we are no doubt going to continue to face. Thank you for sitting through that and listening to my TED Talk. Not exactly probably what you expected when I talked about this video, but hey, here it is. I promise the memes and video games will be returning shortly. I love you all. I'll see you guys in the next video.